Yeah, we talked last week on this program about two liberal bloggers hired by John Edwards' presidential campaign. They became very controversial for making anti-Catholic and other inflammatory remarks on their personal blogs. Edwards decided to keep them. This week they quit. One of them is Amanda Marcotte. The other is Melissa McHugh. And Amanda Marcotte yesterday on MSNBC. Let's take a quick look.
I feel bad that there was so much negative attention, but I don't really feel that was my fault. I feel it was I was being used as a way to get to the senator, and I don't think that it had anything really to do with me. I was just a method to attack him.
Michael Medved, Marcotte is blaming what she calls the right-wing noise machine for her decision to resign.
Well, I think it's nonsense. I happen to believe it's a terrible idea for candidates to hire bloggers or to hire journalists at all. I mean, the whole idea of the blogosphere, the whole idea of talk radio, the whole idea of all of the new media is a freewheeling opinion. And if you are having any doubts at all about whether somebody is being paid for that opinion, it's a terrible thing. It undermines the entire medium. And I wish that Senator Edwards and the rest of the candidates would not attempt to blur the lines between independent commentary and campaign advocacy.
Well, I would say that many bloggers don't act like journalists. They don't want to be journalists. They're opinion people. And if they are upfront about the fact that they've signed on the payroll for presidential candidate, I'm not sure I see a problem with that, except that then the candidate is held responsible for everything they've ever written. Rachel Maddow, one of the things Amanda Marcotte is saying in resigning is that, well, she's young and female and that various right-wing bloggers were obsessed with her sexuality. Is it fair for her to play the gender card here?
Well, it's interesting. The political blog world is very, very male-dominated. And for Edwards to have chosen two female political bloggers, I think was a great move politically by Edwards in terms of making the left more interested in him. I think it was also strong of Edwards to say that he was not going to fire the bloggers. I also think that the right-wing noise machine argument really matters here. I mean, Bill Donahue was the man who was leading the charge against these two bloggers. I was once on a television segment with Bill Donahue where he said that gay people need to apologize to straight people for AIDS. And this is the man saying that people should be fired for making inflammatory statements. This is kind of the right wing claiming their scalps here. What's that?
He's not working for any campaign.
No,
Bill Donahue is independent. He can be as outrageous as he wants.
Well,
when you start working for a campaign, you're blurring that distinction.
I would suggest that if any blogger, male or female, and even if there were no right-wing critics, had written what Amanda Marcotte wrote about the Virgin Mary taking Plan B birth control, and I can't even say the whole thing on the air, there would be a storm of controversy. We've got about 2 minutes left. I want to turn to Barack Obama. You mentioned him earlier, Rachel.
Yes.
He has gotten, in my view, coverage that has ranged from glowing to worshipful. And yet, a few days ago, he made very clear, Senator Obama did, that he was not happy with the way the media portray him. Let's listen.
The problem is not that the information is not out there. The problem is that that's not what you guys have been reporting on. You've been reporting on how I look in a swimsuit.
Michael Medved?
This is absurd, of course, because the whole point about Barack Obama is there really is not a great deal of specificity about his policies. The whole reason that he's a candidate is because people are compelled by his personal story, his personal appearance, his personal approach. And for somebody to, it's as if a Miss America contestant were scolding the media for obsessing about her appearance. The entire thing with Obama is a personal story and a background. That's what his books are about, and that's what his candidacy is about.
Rachel Maddow, even the swimsuit coverage was positive, but does he need to get a thicker skin if he's going to be in the thick of a presidential race?
No, I think that what he's saying is right, and he's not running for Miss America, Michael, so that's not exactly fair. But the thing about Barack Obama, and I think this is relevant because we do have serious candidates who are a woman in the case of Hillary Clinton, who are not Christian in the case of Mitt Romney, or at least not mainstream Christian, and who is black in the case of Barack Obama. I think the question of whether or not these candidates are going to be able to overcome those demographic challenges in part depends on how much the media is willing to talk about something other than the way they're different from all our previous presidencies. We do not always talk about Hillary Clinton's gender. We do still always talk about Obama's race.
We are going to have to call that a wrap. Michael Medved, Rachel Maddow, thanks very much.
Thank you, Howie.
For a lively conversation this morning.